Hey, how's it going everyone? Today I am very excited to start my first campaign in Farm 51's 2021 game, Chernobylite. The game opens on a train ride through a beautiful city with my wife Tanya at our side.
Feels good to return after all these years, doesn't it?
As the train moves along, the weather outside becomes green and dreary. Tanya quickly disappears, but not before leaving you with a thoughtful message in some sort of horrifying demonic voice.
What is it, Igor? You're still half asleep. Wake up.
Outside the train, we follow Tanya's disappearing silhouette through what seems to be forest ruins.
You proposed to me. You were so nervous. And sweet.
The game wastes no time in letting me know that this won't just be an immersive looter shooter when it provides the first real jump scare of the game.
After all these years.
Shortly after, an AK spawns in our hands through some sort of miraculous weapon-spawning lightning strike. And we're given a quick shooting tutorial, which I absolutely whiffed. Our consciousness then becomes a little hazy, and we come back to at an elaborate, breathtaking set piece.
What are you?
We are the inevitable.
Igor appears back at his home workshop where he builds a wormhole gun by putting some sort of metal strainer over a drill. You know, honestly, I'm crapping on this thing, but it's so damn cool. The game then cuts to you and two crew members approaching the Chernobyl power plant. Using memory flashbacks, we infiltrate Chernobyl while simultaneously learning about the disaster that happened there years earlier.
Misha, we can't! We have to fall back! The pressure's dropping. Downstairs, now! Go, go, go!
For anyone who's interested in the Chernobyl disaster, this is honestly quite a treat.
The readings are bad. The numbers are too high. We have to get out of here.
We can't leave him behind, dear God! Let me out of here! Let me out! Alexander Borisovich, someone has to open the valves manually. Someone has to go inside.
All right, Eagle, you're the star. Ready to execute the plan? The reactor room, now!
Deep within the power plant, we find a massive green structure that we quickly learn is Chernobylite.
The radiation.
Let's get this done quickly.
Sorry, am I holding you up?
We have to collect it in order to power our portal gun.
It's even colder than I remember.
We also learn here what our character Igor's plan is and why we're here at all.
Now, all right?
What?
My fiancée. She disappeared here during the disaster 30 years ago.
In this same section, we run into what appears to be the main boss of the game, and he quickly shows us that he ain't no sucker.
Fucking God! Help me!
I love that it implies that he knows you or recognizes you when he asks,
Why are you here?
Injured but alive, Olivier and I barely escape death through our portals, and we both end up in some sort of time-jumping limbo. I really like the level design here.
Listen, Jesus, I'm so sorry, Olivier. Anton was, he was a good man.
Deceiving as the opening section is in terms of gameplay compared to the rest of the game, I do have to say that I think it's near perfect. The way that it introduces the story, the characters, and most importantly the setting, through what is essentially a playable history lesson is done seriously well. As a quick note, I will do my best to pronounce some of the names in this game, and I mean no offense if I absolutely butcher any pronunciations. Thanks again, and let's have some fun. The game opens outside a dilapidated bunker where a hooded man stops me from going inside by shoving a gun in my face.
Hands where I can see them. What's the password?
Would you mind? I can't think with that gun pointed at me.
Igor? Damn it.
Fortunately, he was much nicer than I had originally assumed, and is actually a member of my crew named Olivier. Once inside the bunker, I wasn't able to do much with my available resources since I hadn't actually left my home base yet, so I scrapped the surrounding piles of junk and built a workbench. Upstairs, Olivier kind of calls me out for wanting to immediately try to rescue my wife from the power plant, which is what I'm assuming to be the final mission and the end of the game.
Tell me you're not going straight back to the power plant. Because if you want to commit suicide, there are easier ways. We're outnumbered, outgunned, everything.
I did prematurely interact with the heist board at one point, which unfortunately started the rescue of Igor's wife, which is the end. I really loved how Olivier here told me I was making a horrible decision in trying to rescue her before being prepared, and when I didn't budge, he just kind of bounced. It reminded me of that meme where the kid slowly fades away.
So it's just me now?
He was smart enough to know it was a death trap and left me, like a sensible person would. I honestly loved it. Most games would just give you a text prompt saying something like, "You aren't ready for this yet, go loot, you dumb idiot." But this one let me know in a much more creative, kind of personally insulting way. The fact that I was able to try endgame content right away offered up the idea that this was going to be my journey, and I was going to play it how I wanted. It was a great surprise so early in the game. On the second floor of our beautiful warehouse is a giant hole in the wall, which seems bad for keeping the heat in and the radiation out, but we'll move on. Later in the game, this screen actually updates with helicopters and green spooky fog and real-time weather mechanics, which was honestly a cool surprise, and I think you'll enjoy it as much as I did.
You cannot succeed alone, but there are others who will help you.
I'm not sure what to do first. Should I tell Olivier to run some errands, or should I do it myself?
I was able to manually assign a quest to Olivier that he may or may not successfully complete while I do my own quest. This is a great feature, and once my crew grows, having multiple quests going at the same time will surely help with productivity. For the first day, I assigned a medicine retrieval quest to Olivier, and took a quest to Moscow I to find an ammo crate for myself. These initial quests were pretty basic, and I'm guessing are more of a soft tutorial versus actually making any progress in the story. Immediately after dropping into the first day, the game lets me know there was going to be much worse things than humans I should be worrying about. It makes a lot of sense to include supernatural elements in the game, given its theme and location, and I was totally up for some good radiation scares. Not long after the disappearing figures, I ran into a haunted doll that kindly let me know a creepy man was roaming the area, looking for little old me.
Ron noticed again. You're making a big mistake. Why did you come here? Watch out for him. He can do you serious.
It was super ominous, and it was at this moment I realized the game was going to have a heavy horror influence, because, well, dolls are scary as hell.
No fucking way I'm abandoning Tatiana now.
He is coming, Igor. He's close.
I ran into a couple of friendlies that offered some pretty good quips as well as potential trading. I didn't have much to offer at this point, nor did I really need anything, so I interacted with them strictly for some friendly conversation.
What? Speak louder.
I'm looking for some parts.
Stop yelling. It's not safe here.
Why isn't it
After
safe?
wandering around and looting for a little while, I found my first photo. It's a photo of Igor's kidnapped wife, Tanya, who we're working ever so hard to rescue. There are a number of hidden photos throughout the game, and when found, offer a quick dialogue between him and his wife, essentially little story vignettes that give us a look into their loving relationship. Once you find them, they're collected in Igor's bedroom back at the warehouse, like little puzzle pieces. This beautiful moment was rapidly outdone when I came across a man wearing a gas mask, rocking back and forth on a chair with a pistol in his hand.
Do you have open graves to find girls to fall in love with, Igor?
Do you have to open graves to find girls to fall in love with, Igor?
Heed the call from the void.
Heed the call from the void.
I found it super unsettling as Tanya repeated the man's words in a creepy demonic voice.
From my dead lips.
Repeat the words coming from my dead lips.
Once I stepped away from the man, I heard a shot, and, well, you can put it together. This part was unexpectedly grim, but as a fan of bleak, not necessarily happy stories, I was cool with it. Once the trauma of that wore off, I picked a nearby locked door that offered a room full of fresh food that looked totally appetizing. In the same room is a letter from the KGB regarding a secret operation codenamed Dorothy. The letter goes on to explain that they've bugged a nearby cafe because they're suspicious that anti-communist activity is happening inside. Very interesting. Wandering around the map a bit, I came across the Dugar radar, the very real and quite infamous radar system used in the Soviet Union as an early warning defense system from incoming missiles.
Did you see that?
It casts quite a large shadow over Chernobyl, and sure would look cool if we blew it up later, huh?
Enemies! Who's there? Find him!
After mercilessly taking a few bad guys out, I found the ammo stash and completed our first quest. Using the very cool portal generator, I opened a wormhole and transported back to our refuge. This was way more convenient than having to find an extraction point, and I was a very happy boy using it. Back at our warehouse? No, our warehome. I had to split food rations between Olivier and I. This is a mechanic that happens every time you finish an extraction. Luckily for him, there was enough food for us both to have a full meal. I'm honestly not looking forward to starving him to death so I can eat, but it's gonna happen. It's a dog-eat-dog world, and this dog's eating good. I quickly went to sleep in Igor's private VIP quarters and had a dream that totally caught me off guard. Different scenes play out between Igor and Grace. Yes, us, Igor, the character, and a woman who I assume was a scientist that he worked with.
Nano diamond batteries that use the graphite from recycled radioactive waste.
There is quite a bit of scientific mumbo-jumbo playing here, but what I gather is that Igor is working on a project named Arianda. Grace is trying to force him to realize the potentially very dangerous outcome of his project, but Igor doesn't care.
Wake up, Igor.
Tanya? Is this a dream?
I'm waiting for you, my love. Find me. Hurry, I don't have much time left.
Once waking up, the first thing I decided to do was build Olivier a bed. I kind of forgot to on the first night, and I guess he had nowhere to sleep, so his morale dropped quite a bit. So it felt only right to build him the bare minimum. A mattress on the cold, hard floor of what essentially looks like an abandoned factory. Building the bed gave me a +1 on my sleeping stat and brought it up to a perfectly neutral 0. I am such a good friend. I then built a laser cutting machine. For some reason, it brought down my comfort, power use, and air quality stats, which really sucked. Yikes. As I was still regretting my choice of building the laser cutting machine, I gained another level and received a call over the radio by some absolute madman.
I know you're there, little mouse.
Who is this?
A better question.
What?
I kid, Mousy.
It quickly became obvious that I was going to receive different, unique NPC-based quests via this radio, which I thought was interesting. The dialogue in the game is pretty well written, and it builds quite strong characters quickly. Hearing these oddballs over the radio, and then having to go find them or doing a quest for them is a great idea. My main man Olivier tries to talk me out of helping this madman and to focus on our plan, but I forcefully reassure him that everything will be fine, and he relents. For my second day, I decided to take on the quest given by the man on the radio, and I gave Olivier a retrieval quest for some food. Good luck out there, handsome. Day 2 began with a pretty horrific interaction.
Hey, please!
What the hell?
It doesn't look good, huh?
How did this happen?
Those things attacked us. The last one got to me. By the way,
You want to kill yourself?
I'm not stupid. Let me end it before
Wait, there must be...
you're free to look for. Don't leave me hanging, huh?
Up to this point, the enemies have all just been that, enemies, who were trying to kill me. So I hadn't opened up to the idea that I might actually have to help one of them at some point. I could really feel the soldier's fear and pain here. And he continues to allude to the fact that there is something worse out there than bad weather and repetitive enemy design. Got him. Right beside our poor friend are two soldiers, totally ignoring his cries for help as they blindly continue to do their rounds. I tried to kill the first one stealthily, but the other soldier heard and put up a seriously sad fight. I do learn shortly that my stealth was basically non-existent because stealth is actually locked away behind a skill tree. Following an unknown waypoint brought me to a man sleeping on a couch with pretty well an entire living room set up outside. The rain didn't really seem to bother him all that much since he just snored away, soaking wet. Backtracking a bit, I came across the previously trapped soldier laying on the ground, injured but free of the Chernobylite. I was given the option to help him or not, and I decided to do the right thing and help him out. Later on, when I break my legs and don't have a first aid kit, I question if it was the right thing at all.
She came to finish the job, you bastard!
What the hell happened here?
Use your eyes, genius! That goddamn creature from hell got the drop on us.
Here, this should get you back on your feet.
Thank you. I won't forget this.
After taking out another pair of guards, I found an old music box that Igor gifted his wife for her birthday. Inside, he finds a listening device that begins to explain why the KGB might have an interest in her. The door then immediately slams behind us, and a man on the other side of it refuses to let us out.
Why did you come here?
You wanted to talk.
Not with me. The old fella wanted you to see this first.
You're running out of time.
How did you get it?
Not here. Meet me in the building.
This just keeps getting better.
There was a really cool moment once outside where we see a glimpse of Igor's wife playing what looks like a violin. I really liked how quick and subtle of a reveal it was and wouldn't be surprised if you missed it, because I nearly did. I then made it to our main quest point where we meet Sashko, a guy who looks like he's straight out of Mad Max or maybe Dying Light.
He's gotta test you before he decides if he likes you.
He's here on behalf of the man who called us on the radio and doesn't elaborate too much beyond that.
I came here to talk to the old man.
The fuck you say? You're a lucky son of a... Now shut your fucking face and pay attention when your betters are talking. You gotta... It's easy. You can either use the detonator to blow this metal monstrosity to kill, or you can use the other thingy to upgrade your PDA. That will improve...
Why do I have to choose?
Don't know. Don't care.
He gives me two options to complete the quest. I either destroy the Duga radar, which we saw earlier, or I take the PDA upgrade. The choice was more than obvious for me. When given the option to blow something up, I'm gonna take it. Enjoy this awesome cutscene. I know I did. Once I permanently changed the landscape of Chernobyl, I wasted no time in teleporting back to my refuge and feeding the pain in my ass that is Olivier. I was pretty successful looting today, so I upgraded my base a bit. I built a basic generator and an air purifier, which helped my not so great stats I ruined previously by building that damn laser cutting machine. I also had 3 skill points banked, so I spoke to Olivier and he literally trained me to earn the skills. Most skill trees in video games, you click the skill and it unlocks with some shiny fireworks and maybe a happy noise, but not in Chernobylite. I was required to go through these god-awful training exercises.
Stand straight, with your legs spread at shoulder width. And your knees a little for support. Out your accuracy.
The game was acting like I had not already killed a bunch of dudes and was sneaking around so much my knees hurt in real life. It could be because it's just the first couple of skills learned and they're mind-numbingly simple, but it is what it is and that remains to be determined. Luckily the training is super quick, so the annoyance is quite minor. After learning my new, valuable skills, I tried to sleep the night away, but the game let me know that my base is in bad shape, and if I go to sleep, Olivier's morale will drop again. Checking our base stats, I saw our comfort of living was way in the negative, so to fix that, I built Olivier a little bedroom. That's only slightly better than the guy who was sleeping on the couch in the rain. I gave him a light that I put directly beside a light that he already had, and a privacy wall that does nothing in the way of actually giving him any privacy. Even after the totally legitimate good friend things I did, the comfort of living stat was still -12, so I gave Olivier a creepy doll at the foot of his bed that brought up the base's comfort enough for me to get a good night's sleep. And I think Olivier will have a good sleep too. You're welcome, buddy. Day 3 starts with another call on the radio from an equally inappropriate, out-of-his-mind madman named Mikhail.
Anybody there? Hey, this is fucking important, come on! Don't leave me standing here with my dick in my hand!
Olivier again tries to put me off from taking a new quest with some choice words, but I again let him know that I don't care what he thinks.
I overheard your conversation with Mikhail.
Mikhail is a bit off, but he's not wrong about crippling NAR. It could
He sounds like a sociopath. Do you trust him?
No, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to deal with him.
The exclusion zone is now sunny with multiple helicopters roaming around. A couple of messages appeared on screen and elaborated a bit on how the zone will continue to change based on my gameplay choices. I initially intended to take the quest from the guy on the radio, but my eyes caught a quest that included hunting monsters, so I obviously jumped on that. And I gave Olivier a quest to Pripyat to receive a supply drop. His chance of success for this is 51%. Shall we take bets? Once we drop in, the day begins with disappearing green-eyed silhouettes who trauma dump onto you while shaking violently.
You'll never find her! This place belongs to ghosts! Be gone, intruder! You don't belong here! Let her rest!
Inside one of the nearby buildings, I found another photo of Tanya. Conversation between Igor and her follows that continues to shine light on their mutual love for each other. It's quite nice.
You're in a good mood today.
I just got word from Fyodya. My record is arriving today.
What record?
Talking Heads.
I've got all the talking heads I need on Soviet national TV.
Look at you, Igor. Seems you're developing a sense of humor.
Well, it must be your sunny disposition rubbing off on me.
Inside a nearby, extremely similar looking building, I found another screaming soldier.
Who's there? Hey! I'm here!
It seems these guys need my help way more than I need theirs, though I'm not really sure what I'm doing here. His story of how he was tied up is actually pretty scary.
I was out on patrol when this maniac jumped me and dragged me off. He said he was going to use me for bait.
Like a monster myself, I made him beg for his life and abandoned him to survive this wandering maniac alone.
No, don't leave me here! Fuck you! You promised! Asshole!
I then immediately found this maniac, and it scared me so bad I had to stop playing and breathe for a moment to slow down my heart palpitations. Outside of the same building, I ran into another new enemy type. It wasn't quite the creature from the closet, but it's pretty close. This thing's called a Chernohost, which just rolls off the tongue horribly. Chernohost. The infesting Chernobylite was significantly increased on this drop to the point where it was covering entire buildings. With each drop into Chernobyl, I'll have to plan around what the game decides it's going to throw at me. A classic FPS mission where I retrieve an ammo drop or blow something up, or a supernatural, otherworldly quest that gives me the heebie-jeebies. I traveled east and came to the Azure swimming pool, another very real location in Chernobyl that I grew up wishing I could explore, and now I can. You gotta love it. I then arrived into the area where this monster hunt was supposed to happen. After wandering around for a while, nothing did happen. I found a gross looking thing nearly dead center of the area, but I wasn't able to get a reaction out of it, so I left. It sucks to take the L on the quest, but I had way too much to do to worry about it. Let me know in the comments if I was doing something wrong here, because I'm sure there's going to be more monster hunting quests that I would like to do.
Get up from the couch and let's go for a walk, Igor.
Oh, but it's so cold outside, and it's not even winter yet.
Ah, come on, Professor Kumunik. Exercise is good for you.
All right, all right.
Don't sulk. I promise I'll knit you a warmer sweater.
Really? I'll hold you to that, you know.
As I was enjoying my natural high from reminiscing about my wife's knitted sweaters, I jumped out of the Azure pool and severely hurt myself, like I told you would happen. You can see here me scurrying through my inventory looking for some sort of healing item to absolutely no avail. I had already taken the L on the quest, so I teleported back to my base to feed my poor guy Olivier since he apparently can't feed himself. With that said, his quest was a success even though his odds were only 51%. Look at him go! Of course, I needed to prioritize my health at this point, so I built a laboratory that I could use to craft medkits. Unfortunately, I did not have enough herb to do so, so I continued to bleed out. Olivier is apparently the world's biggest baby because his comfort stats dropped down again, so I gave him a couple more privacy walls which held him over for the night. Hoping sleeping off my wounds would help my health, I slept in, woke up still injured. Who would have thought?
Igor, wake up!
I'm awake, I think.
Meet me in the Red Forest.
So, just like always?
But when I awake, I have a vision of Tanya, where she tells me to visit her in the Red Forest. But today I decided against it and figured it was time to stop our new radio friend from waiting any longer, so I took his quest. I sent Olivier to fetch some food for us, and he again had a 51% chance of success. Shall we take a guess? He's been pretty successful so far, right?
Do you really trust Mikhail? Perhaps you just want to follow the crazy and see how deep the rabbit hole goes. Once you cross that bridge, there's no turning back. The NAR will have you in their crosshairs.
Day 4 starts with blood in my eyes and me nearly dead. My number one priority was to find some damn herbs. Fortunately, I was able to use my fancy schmancy item finder thingy to collect more than enough. While foraging like an innocent little boy, a civilian began arguing with 2 soldiers nearby.
Stop right there, don't move a muscle.
Why are you pointing your gun at me, you barbarian? We've got bigger problems.
What did you just call me? On the ground.
I hate to break it to you, but there's a goddamn monster running around, and I promise you, it won't care about your little rifle. We have to get the hell out of here.
On the ground, now! I won't tell you again.
Shoot me if you want, you primitive fuck. I don't bow to savages like you.
Hey, don't you dare! Cease fire! Cease fire! What the hell? What did you shoot him for?
It was an accident. He started moving fast, and...
I think I was a little too cautious here, and maybe I should have tried saving him. I had nearly no health, so I didn't want to risk it. That's what I'll tell my therapist. I had to figure out my health situation before advancing on these fools. I was kind of screwed without any health, and then I remembered that there was not only building in my warehouse, but also the ability to build permanent workstations in and around the map for when you're on the go. I built a small fire and crafted some medicine. What an amazing idea to have building like this available directly on the map for each drop. After taking care of my wounds, I took care of business.
You're such a good driver, are you, huh? Good. And for fuck's sake, drive here and pick me up. Christ!
Just before I reached my main quest, a glowing doll tried to kill my vibe, but I stayed totally calm and acted completely rationally. Through a nearby radio, Mikhail offers a super secret codename for the mission for some reason, but I liked it, and convinces us into hacking a soldier's laptop at a nearby outpost.
What do I have to do? Hello?
Alrighty then. First up, every mission needs...
I don't care.
I don't care. It's weird, but it's not gonna work for our purposes. How about Panzerkampfwagen? Hey, you like it? Anyway, I tracked down the comms vehicle that does the rounds every week. There's a...
And
upload an exploit that'll...
Fine.
I somehow managed to sneak past all of these unaware idiots. I guess that stealth training sure has paid off. And here I was talking crap about it.
Mikhail, I've got the laptop.
Great fucking job. Type in www, download the last file in the column. The one called Sweet Lonely Boy Will Meet Sugar Mom. Execute the file and voila!
After hacking into Mikhail's hilariously named exploit, I made my way over to the comms tower to offer the fatal blow and complete the quest. But once the comm towers are in view, a loud explosion happens nearby that only wildcard Mikhail could be responsible for.
Did he just blow himself up?
Everything is in those barrels. Fuck!
Just get that.
Don't worry about me. Just wipe the servers. Go to www.heartisalonelyhunter.ru, download Smelly Panties of Doom, and execute.
And that's our quest. We did it.
It's done. I hope it hurts.
Before heading home, I killed a couple more no-good, all-bad soldiers, one of which actually dropped his gun for me to pick up.
Fuck, Alyosha! He's dead!
And lucky me, I got to test it out right away, and oof, did it feel good. After all this vicious killing, my psyche began to drop and a foggy overlay began creeping into my vision. It wasn't hurting me too bad, so I decided to loot a little more before extracting and ended up coming across this scene straight out of a horror movie. This was enough for me for the day, and I extracted back to our base. Guess what? Olivier failed, and he's a failure, and he will die alone. Sorry, he's a good boy who gets a full meal. I'm a great leader. Before calling it a day and heading to bed, I knew I had to take care of my psyche. The game's morbid humor was on full display here when I realized in order to fix my psyche, I had to pound back a couple of brewskis. I guess it's on brand. Alright, that's the episode. We got so much done today, you guys. We played 4 quests, completed 3. That's pretty good, right? Right? We upgraded a couple of skills that already seem to be paying off. Our gun situation has drastically improved now that we have an AK and no longer need to rely on that ancient pistol. The warehouse, oh, no, sorry. The warehome is looking great. Olivier has a totally comfortable private space, and we're well on our way to having enough crafting stations to open a post-apocalyptic sweatshop. Thank you so much for making it this far, and please let me know in the comments if you want me to continue this series, because I know I'd love to. Also, if I did offer some enjoyment for you, please like the video and subscribe to the channel if you're at all interested in more content like this. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.
Let's see what you're made of.